The hustle and bustle of the holiday season is over, and the credit card bills are starting to roll in. Meanwhile, Canadians' consumer debt continues to grow. New stats reveal Canadians now owe nearly $2.4 trillion.
Yikes. So how can we start the new year on the right financial foot? Money expert Robyn Thompson is back to share her money-saving strategies. Nice to see you again, Robyn.
Hi, everybody. We need you, Robyn. We need you. I need you. Okay, when you're here, you talk a lot about the psychology of money.
Yes, I do.
And what I find interesting is you say that the holiday season alters our financial behavior. And I'm just going to guess not for the better.
Yeah, when you think about it, starting on, Black Friday all the way through the holiday season, we are inundated with sales tactics and pressure to spend more money during the holidays to make it magical for all the people in our lives. What ends up happening is that we end up spending more money on things that we maybe not have should have. More debt, more credit, and then January comes along like right now, and you gotta pay the piper, right? Bills start coming in, credit card statements start coming in, and you start to feel a little bit of shame, right? You kind of look back and be like, did I make the right decisions? And the shame cycle for money is not the best place to be for people. So what you want to do is you want to just put that aside. We can't unring that bell, right, everybody? Yeah. Can't unring it. So we need to start the new year off on the right foot. We need to be able to talk about tackling our debt, putting money into savings, growing our income, and starting the year off powerfully with a great financial plan.
Okay.
Sorry, go ahead.
I think that's, how do we know if we're actually taking on a bit too much debt and need to start making some changes?
And that's a great question. And I think that sometimes when it comes to finances, people are afraid of ratios, right? Because it gets to be a bit financial jargon-ish. So we're gonna talk to a debt-to-income ratio, and it's exactly as it sounds. We're gonna put two things together and compare them. So the first one is debt. So you can take a look at your consumer debts. That's everything that's credit cards, loans, lines of credit. That's one part of your debt. The next one is mortgage. So you're gonna take those two numbers, you're gonna add them together. What are you paying monthly? Then you're gonna look at your income. What is your gross monthly income coming in before taxes and deductions? You are going to divide your debt with your income, and that's going to give you a number. If that number is more than 40%, you need to start looking at your finances. You're spending too much money on debt. And you need to be able to sort of pinch your budget now. Because if you do that, you are going to save money on interest. You're gonna put more money in your pocket, and it's gonna work out better for you in the longer run. But it's gonna be a little bit painful, because budget's hard for everyone right now, right? I mean, money is a bit tight, so you have to apply the principles.
Now, even though everybody has a different situation,
Yes.
is there like a general rule as to what timeline you should be paying off your debts?
Well, I guess that depends on how much debt you have, right? So, and I think that when you're looking at it, we're gonna pull up a graphic right now actually to show you some examples. And the beauty of this is to show you the differences between different interest rates and how they are applied. So credit card, line of credit, and personal loan. You can see by a wide margin, credit card at 19%, 9.45 at line of credit. That's gonna move up and down with the Bank of Canada. As they increase or decrease rate, that number is gonna go higher or lower. And then personal loan. These are numbers as of right now. $21,000 is the average debt for Canadians that's a non-mortgage debt. Okay. So that's a significant amount. So when you look at paying that off, if you look at the credit card, you're starting at $630, you're gonna pay that balance, and then it's gonna decrease over periods of time. But look at the interest paid on the bottom of that screen. And then look over to the line of credit and the personal loan. Which one do you think is the one you guys should go for?
Get rid of that credit
line
card
of
debt.
credit. Yeah, right? You gotta go line of credit if you're gonna do that, right?
So whenever you're looking at this, the point here is that I'm not telling you to take on more debt. What I'm telling you to do is shift your debt from the highest interest rate to the lowest interest rate. Right. Take that difference, put it into savings, save for your retirement, put it towards your debt. And sometimes people look at this and they say, we know this. We know that we're supposed to pay the highest interest debt first and the lowest one, or we know all of these things already. But what happens, especially with credit cards, is that we get into a cycle, right? We charge things, they roll over into the next month, and we push them forward again. You kind of make the minimum payments, and you don't pay a lot of attention. What you need right now is, because you're in a habit, you need something to break the habit. You need something to interrupt that and say, wow, look at the money I'm wasting. So today, this is that moment. Take a look at those numbers and say, why am I wasting my money? Take your money back.
Okay, going back to credit cards and lines of credit, apparently many lines of credit now offer a card you can use, much like a credit card. Is there a benefit to going that route?
So, as we just saw, I would say stay away from the credit card if you can. The caveat to that is I love to travel. So I'm going to put things on my credit card, but I'm going to pay it off at the end of the month because I want my air miles. I want to collect my collector points. But when it comes to actually spending on money that you're not going to be able to pay off right away, the line of credit essentially is what we just saw, but you're going to be able to get, it kind of acts like it's not a debit card because you're taking money off credit, but it's like you usually get a line of credit that give you checks. This is similar to that.
Yep.
So you're going to be borrowing at a lower rate. What you can also do is you can either pay off just the interest or you can pay off interest and the balance. So it's very flexible, but it is going to change with the Bank of Canada's interest rate changes. So last year we saw 7 interest rate changes. This year, who knows what we're going to see? So that number is going to go up or down depending on what happens. But as you can see, it's a lot better than the credit card. So it has a lot of advantages to it.
Okay, can we quickly talk about good debt versus bad debt? And should you take, what's the difference? And then should you take on good debt to pay off bad debt?
So good debt is any debt that actually has the ability to be able to increase in value. So anything that's good is like, we're gonna buy a house. It has the potential to increase in value. Starting a business has the opportunity to increase in value. Education, things that are going to move the needle forward. Bad debt are things like shopping, shoes, I know we all have some shoe problems in this area right now. It's okay if you keep it under control, but it has to be within limits. But those things are not going to increase in value unless they're, really expensive, heirloom items. But for the most part, you want to make sure you keep that bad debt under control. And then you want to look at the good debt, which are things like mortgage debt. Pay off your high interest credit cards first and then look for the good debt. But the problem with that is if you take on too much debt and we go into a recession or you lose your job or something happens, how are you going to make your payments? How are you going to make sure you can afford to service that debt? And that really is the ultimate conversation.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, we're just getting started, but great tips, Robyn. Thank you so much.
Oh,
for these.
you're welcome.
Food for thought to kick off the new year. Okay.
Hey there, wasn't that great? Do you know where you can find some equally good content? Our YouTube page. It's filled with discussions, debates, and some laughs. Head there now, like and subscribe.